Hey everyone. So this is going to be a little bit different from my other videos because it's a topic regarding monetization with social media. This isn't something that's totally alien to me. I've done videos on this, at least on my other YouTube channel before, and I realize that this is off topic from being and making and playing arena first person shooters. But arena first person shooters tend to be something that I talk about an awful lot. And sometimes, if you look at my Steemit blog history, you'll see sometimes I'll like re-steam something that somebody else posted, or I'll find a video like a commercial or something like that, or a review that another person made, and I'll post the link to the YouTube video, and kind of give my 2 cents on like what I thought. Now, the difference between posting on something like Steemit versus posting like something on like just sharing it on Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit is that you make money. The content creator is the one who makes the money. So I did probably like maybe I could have said a little bit more. But Total Biscuit did a my thoughts on Quake Champions, and it's a good video, definitely worth checking out. I posted a link to his YouTube video. Um, it will display the ads and stuff like that if it has ads. Um, I think it had ads. Well, anyway, I uh, I posted a link to the video uh, on my Steemit, and I make the curation or the aggregation of that data can potentially make me money. I posted what my thoughts were on this, and that is something that I've actually expressed on previous videos before. Sorry if I'm kind of tongue twisting a little bit. Let me get some coffee. And it's basically I said something that I said probably in my previous videos. I honestly think that we can have games like the Quake Champions and Reflex and Xenotic or all these other arena shooters that already existed, but in my opinion, I honestly think that all something like Reflex needed to have is genuine single player and co-op aspects that flows almost exactly like Quake 1. Basically, classic arena shooter single player and co-op, or at least something similar to that. And if you watch my other videos, you'd know, oh well, yeah, I'm building something like that right now. Like that is something that I very much feel very strongly about. And I listened to I didn't watch all of Total Biscuit's video, but I got pretty far in. I'm gonna finish the video tonight. I always watch like tons of videos when I'm working on my UE4 stuff. But anyway, I decided to just link the video here, and I'll like check it out later. Kind of gave a blurb about my thoughts on it and stuff like that. I didn't really think very much of it, but I'm not sure that trying to cash in on others' content is the best way to go about Steemit. And to me, this doesn't. This line of reasoning is flawed. That what I just did was trying to cash in on Total Biscuits. I'm not really cashing in on Total Biscuits content. I'm aggregating and kind of giving my 2 cents, and I want a lot of the stuff that and it is also this is topical to my channel. Like this is an arena first person shooter that I care very much about, that I think um, really matters, and I value Total Biscuit's opinion. So this is, I mean, maybe I could have wrote a couple more paragraphs or something, but I very much like I didn't really think that I was doing anything wrong by deciding to to put this here, and you could see like I kind of veer off sometimes, but the vast majority of the stuff that I do post is my own content, like Project Stray. I guess it's the vast majority. Maybe I do have a lot of stuff that's just like regular like shit posts or things of that nature. But so the reasoning he states this. Now, please leave Gaming Trail alone. I do not in any way condone, you know, bothering him. I know I don't have a very large audience, but I'm just gonna say that anyway, just in case like a year from now I explode and I have like 100,000 followers or something. Please, I do not condone like going after this guy. Um, but I don't agree with his point. But he brought this up, and there's some there's something that's worth actually mentioning about this, and I think this kind of touches on the topic in a couple of ways that's kind of interesting because we've become so used to the idea of Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit that we forgot that everything that you do on the internet is worth money. And I think in a lot of ways, like what I did here is really like I'm not even going to change this because I don't view what I did as trying to cash in on Total Biscuit's content. I view this as just regular aggregation and posting something that I feel is valid, even if I only posted it just because I felt like it would make it a little bit easier for me to find it to finish watching it like in a while I'm working on something like that, or like I find this relevant, so I posted a link to it, and I'm pretty sure that I could take this up with Total Biscuit, or like to ask him myself, like, is what I did by posting the video wrong? And I don't think that I've done anything wrong, even in spite of the fact that I'm the one on Steemit. I'm the one who makes the money, right? On Steemit, you can make a lot of money off of a single post. One way to see this is like if I go to the trending tab, some people make quite a bit. I doubt it's as much as Total Biscuit made off of this video on YouTube, although I don't know what the AdSense apocalypse going on right now. But if you look at like the trending tab and stuff that's on like hot and stuff like that, yeah, there's quite a bit of possibility that somehow magically something that I posted will suddenly make a lot of money. But I really wasn't even thinking about that. I was just like, this is cool, and I just posted it. I can definitely see how maybe it might get annoying if you see people who are just like literally pretending to be other people or not citing the original author. In my case, I literally say Total Biscuit, my thoughts on Quake Champions, and it shows the like I didn't think in any way, shape, or form that people would think that I'm taking credit for his work, which I would find extremely immoral, is stealing other people's content. I don't approve of that kind of behavior in even the slightest. Like, but to me, aggregation, I view it as being one of the most important things on the internet. And I also don't agree with the argument that, okay, let's take a look at this argument. Skip some of this because we ended up going back and forth at each other, and it got kind of heated because during this thread, he admitted to me that he's a moralist, and I was like, you're kind of being a moralist, dude. This isn't really a good, like, healthy stance. I don't like moralists. Moralists are the kinds of people who tell you can't play video games because they're sexist. The moralists are the kind of people who will say that you can't listen to death black metal because it's against God. Moralists are the kind of people who like get into other people's business and get offended for other people when nothing went wrong, like nothing happened, like nobody cared, but I'm mad anyway because I'm a fucking moralist. Moralists are kind of like cancer to me, in my opinion. So like I kind of get a little bit heated. If you find my Steemit posts and stuff like that, I didn't really go after him. I didn't really go for his throat or anything like that. But one of the things that I think a lot of people forget is that Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit make money off of posting content, off of you posting the content. So, in other words, I don't think it's different where I'm the one making the money versus Mark Zuckerberg. If I share the video, like he makes the argument that that if Facebook makes the profit, then it's okay. If I shared Total Biscuit's video on Facebook, then Facebook would make the money. That's moral. But if I make the money on Steemit, then it's immoral. If it was Mark Zuckerberg sharing Total Biscuit's videos, that would be wrong as well. And to me, this is just terrible logic on like so many ways. Like Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit make money off of posting the content. I do not agree that it's different at all on who the one is making the profits. People who aggregate should be allowed to make money too. I believe that aggregation is a service. And as we move into the next generation of social media, one of the things that we're going to see is a lot more people being able to monetize their content, right? Because YouTube was extremely successful, mainly because it created this meritocracy based on profiting from your videos that you create, and it made it so that there were people who could dedicate their entire lives to creating this content just because they were able to garner that audience in a very organic way. And I think that's invaluable. And people who would go around and sharing those links on Twitter, to say that sharing the link on Twitter is moral because the person sharing isn't the one making the money, but Twitter is making the money, is like the weakest argument I've ever heard. It's one of the worst. And this idea that what you do on the internet isn't worth something is just blows my mind. Like, how are you going to deal with the fact that, like, if you play like Counter-Strike, or I almost said Condition Zero. If you play Counter-Strike or something and you get a fucking weapon skin that's worth $5,000, like how are you going to rationalize to yourself that, well, the skin isn't really worth money? Like, there's no demand for Bitcoin. There's no demand for Steam. Like, how do you get around this idea that everything that you do, that if you do something that's good, it brings value and people value that value? It's a reciprocal process. So the meritocracy is dependent entirely on this reciprocal process. And if people don't like it when I share a video that I didn't do, don't upvote it. Right? That's really, you have total control over your upvotes on Steemit. All right, and if somebody likes the video that I linked to it, or likes the point that was only 2 paragraphs, that's up to them. We shouldn't be these moralist busybodies telling people what is or what isn't right to post on Steemit. I don't think that that's a good, solid argument. Even if you don't directly profit from sharing content, you can still benefit greatly from building a following. Well, one of the things that was brought up in the conversation that was going kind of back and forth was the idea that on Steemit, I thought maybe that if you re-Steam, which is like share somebody's content, like if Total Biscuit had an account on Steemit and I re-Steamed his video, it would be very much the same thing as just posting a link to his video on YouTube. I don't see how they're very different. But he says that, well, you don't make profit when you re-Steam. But I don't think that that's true. And this kind of ties back with my original point. I think that it is actually true that when you share content that you find valuable, and when you bring value, even if it's just taking something that you liked and sharing it for your audience, you're building a larger audience. You're showing people that you exist. You have a pulse, that you have a personality, you have opinions, and if they like those things, they can follow you. And if you build a following, you do profit from it. Sharing content either by re-Steam or sharing on YouTube does contribute to a larger following. And I do think that a larger following has monetary value. And I think that pretty much everything you do on the internet has monetary value. Maybe that could be, somebody could shoot that argument down, but I really do think that you posting something on Facebook might only make a few pennies, right? But like, and from what I understand, Facebook makes about an average of like $12 per person. They have 12 billion people, but they make $12 for the average person a year. Aggregation is an extremely important aspect of the internet. Sharing content is 100% fine, provided you cite the original author. And I mean, again, like, I said it's Total Biscuit. Obviously, I'm not trying to be Total Biscuit. Obviously, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I really don't think that what I've done here is wrong. And I do think that aggregation is a valuable service. I do think that when people post something that they think is valuable or interesting or sharing content is worth it. Um, okay, so one of the other things he says that Total Biscuit's video is 30 minutes long and I only provided 2 paragraphs. To me, this is a weak argument as well because 2 paragraphs for 30 minutes of content is a subjective and arbitrary amount, meaning that some people may think 2 paragraphs is being sufficient while others will not. By this line of reasoning, you will either need to accept that this is a gray area or that your input is not subjective based on some kind of criteria. And this isn't relevant. Let's just ignore this. Basically, he's like, yeah, I make money off of Let's Play videos, and I started making the point that, like, if you're making money off of Let's Play videos, then you're kind of your moralist stance is kind of weak, even weaker now, because it takes so much time and energy to make a game, and you're just gonna profit off of that game. Like, in my opinion, it's perfectly legit. I think that the reciprocal process, the you know the the idea that like people, I can make a game and then people will like stream themselves playing it, and it's like, I love it, love it. I love it when you have people like Total Biscuit talking about it, and they can do like streams for 2 hours, and like, that shit is awesome, right? Like, losing that would be like a detriment to the internet, man. I'm getting all teary-eyed and shit just saying that right now. I mean, I can't. It drives me crazy that there would even be an argument against that kind of stuff. Like, well, anyway, all right, I got sidetracked. So he states his counter arguments. Like, I think that it's hugely important who makes the money. I think it's irrelevant if Mark Zuckerberg's going to make the money or if I'm going to make the money. Somebody's making the money. Okay? I just can't bring myself to agree with this. If I could make an argument. This would make me a moralist asshole if I was to go ahead and do this. But if I can entertain the idea that the Mark Zuckerberg example is even worse because he, like, well, maybe, I don't know, he did provide the social media platform, so maybe he does deserve a cut. Maybe in some cases, like in Steemit, like, I honestly don't know, because in the case of Steemit, maybe the creators of Steemit are shortchanging themselves a little bit. Maybe there is like a capitalistic reasoning behind why Mark Zuckerberg should make something. But the bottom line is, the thing that you posted is worth something to somebody. And if it brought X amount of people and they were able to profit, you post a video on Facebook, that video can make thousands and thousands of dollars. End of story. I mean, there's, like, you might not have seen a single penny from it, but Facebook did. I don't think it matters. I think it's completely irrelevant who is the one earning the money. If the person that's sharing the content, that changes the dynamic, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't agree with that. That is certainly true. Oh, is this that is certainly true, but the change for me comes when the money comes into question. But that's just it, though. We can't just think of money. We can't just think of value as money, because value is value. like I said before, you can get a weapon skin in Counter Strike that's worth 5 grand. Like all of the different things that you do, the traffic that you bring to a page, the number of followers that you have, like all of those things. I know people who make so much money. Like I'll go on my Facebook every once in a while and I'll talk to someone who's like, you know, I'll be like, why are you still using Facebook? You can't make money. And then I will pretty much get my ass handed to me and say, yes, I do make money off of Facebook because I network with people. I have a following here. And, in which case I guess I kind of feel stupid for even trying to like argue about it. But the thing is that I just feel like, it's not just money. Okay, money, value can be translated into money. Making value it's a close corollary. And of course, aggregation, unless you make money from sharing it, well, this again ties back to the original argument. I don't care if it's the original author, or I mean, I don't care if it's the person who aggregated the content or the owner of the social media page. Like, I think that either way, I think that if somebody who's really good at aggregation, and there have been a lot of people who are just really awesome at staying on top of things and like posting all the most latest stuff. People who aggregate should be able to make a living on the internet just for doing that alone. I think it's actually a thing. Like, that can be a job. That's like one of those things too where it's like so subtle that a lot of people probably don't even talk about it very much. But a lot of people, you'll hear people who talk about YouTube and they'll be like, oh, YouTubers, why don't you get a real job? It is a real job. So is aggregation. Aggregation can be a real job. I don't know. Again, I just... And then I guess he agrees on this. Says, I agree, amount of content needed is highly subjective. I'm just saying, I think yeah, well, at that point, like, I can make the argument that you shouldn't be making money off of your Let's Play videos, because I spend X amount of hours every day working on video. Oh my god, I'm not even exaggerating. And like, in order for you to be able to just make like an 8-minute video and profit off of it enough to live on, like, where's that money coming to me? Like, again, like, this is so stupid. This is the dumbest argument ever. I want my shit. I want my stuff to be out there. I want people to be playing and making videos and talking about my stuff. Like why? Like, I want people to be able to. Yesterday I spent a whole fucking long time like just watching this one dude's videos on a walkthrough for Dark Souls 3, right? And it was awesome. But he basically was going through every single detail and like how to do this. That was Cowboy Gaming, I think it was named. Well, anyway, like that shit is badass. Like, I love that kind of stuff. But by your logic, by this kind of logic, you'd get rid of that. There's no way that would be acceptable. There's no fucking way. There's no way you'd be able to. If you can't allow people to aggregate, if you can't allow people, then you would just tear the internet would be torn apart. There wouldn't be. I don't know. Seriously. Anyway, this guy was cool. Like, we started off kind of heated up, and I really don't agree with these points. It's just I just decided that I would just do like kind of a rant about it. But to me, like, I don't know. I'm going to continue just doing exactly what I was doing before, because I really don't like this sort of moralist stuff. And I really do think that people need to understand that when you post stuff on Facebook, the only difference between it and Steemit is that on Steemit, you're the one making the money. Otherwise, it's Facebook's making the money. It's not that nobody's making money. Everything you do on the net is worth something. Everything. That's one of the reasons why I find it so silly when I hear people arguing against, being able to make money off of YouTube videos. Because you're not saying that nobody should make money off of it. You're just saying the content creators shouldn't. That's it. That's the only difference. You're not. Obviously Google's going to make money off of it, right? I mean, and they do. they just they're just giving you a cut. On Steemit, you get all of it, provided that people decide to upvote you. Anyway, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and just end this. I didn't want this video to be 25 minutes long, but like, I just needed to kind of get this off my chest because it's. And please don't bother this guy. That's not what the intention of this was. This just kind of fired me up and made me want to do a rant about the topic. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end this now. If you enjoyed, do the upvotes. Give me an upvote on Steemit. This should technically count as my content, even though Gaming Trail here should probably get a cut by his logic. Oh no, what I said was much greater than 2 paragraphs. So hopefully that's enough for a consensus. All right, I'm done for now.